So welcome to my YouTube channel. That's what we call The Good Life. Today I'm going to be talking about all the things you can sow and plant in the month of March. And boy, there are a lot of things you can be doing, but you don't have to do everything all at once. We've got plenty of time. So I'm going to give you some ideas. I'm also going to be giving you some top tips, and I'm going to be telling you what I've already sown and what I plan to sow this month as well. So you kind of get an idea of the things that are easier to start this time of the year, but it's completely up to you what you start. So if you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my allotment, my home garden, and from time to time my home kitchen. Now I just want to say hello to all my regular viewers. I know there's a lot of you out there. It's really great that you keep watching, and hello to anyone new. I hope you get a lot of value out of my channel. I certainly enjoy sharing what I do on my allotment and home garden, in the hope that it helps and inspires other people to grow successfully and to really enjoy it too. Now something that's really useful is a journal. I use one all the time, especially this time of year, so I can keep track of what I'm going to be planting. So if you've not got a journal, it's a really handy thing to have, because it's a really good prompt. Because believe it or not, I don't just remember every year what I need to do. I do rely on other resources like books and also the journal of what I've done the year before. So I'm going to talk about the things I use and how to make things more successful as well. And in particular, I really recommend getting a heated propagator. It's an absolute game changer for me. I get much more successful propagation with it. It's an electric one. I have it inside my house to keep it warm, because I haven't got a heated greenhouse and I haven't got heat pads in here either. And we are going to put a link for the propagator that you could buy if you've not got one, and we will put a link in the description. I must add that we do make a little bit of money out of it, because we do it through Amazon, so I don't want to be tricking anybody, but it also helps us keep the channel going, doing things like that, so we can show it to more and more people. So let's start with the first few things that you could be sowing this month. Now these are things that you can on the packets be sown this month, and if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine, but there really is no rush. A lot of the seeds I'm going to show you now can be planted over the next few months, and when I used to plant things at home, I used to plant a lot more things earlier, because it was a lot warmer in my home garden than at the allotment, where it's very open, so I normally wait a few more months. But these are still things, if you wanted to be putting in now, you could do. So turnip is one of them. I love a bit of turnip. I know some people call it animal feed, but it's a really good staple and it grows really easily. Spring onions can be started now, so you can either direct sow or you can start them off in pots indoors. Also radishes are another really easy, quick thing to grow, something that I like to include in salads, and they have such a good flavour, much better flavour than you get from any radish that you get in the shop. They really do pack a punch, so when you eat your first homegrown radish, it can knock your socks off a little bit. Rocket, another good rounder. I mean, mine fortunately self-sows nearly every year, so I really need to sow more, but rocket is another good all-rounder. And beetroot, so you can obviously start them off in module trays or straight into the ground. Again, I'm going to be waiting a few more months, and I personally will direct sow. I start enough things off in trays and things. It's quite a juggle really, so for things like that I find germinate in the ground really easily, I don't bother. The same with carrots. I normally just direct sow my carrots straight into the ground, but I wait a little bit longer. Parsnips is something you could direct sow now if you wanted to, or some people start them off on a little bit of wet tissue to get them started, and then they plant them. The choice is yours really. So there are a few things you could be starting off. Some other things you could be doing now, you could be getting some brassica seeds and starting those off in a propagator. Some globe artichokes could be, you could start some of those off if you wanted to. And let's get my book out. Some bare root fruit trees and bushes. That's something I've got enough in. I've just recently put some more blueberry bushes in, so I'm definitely okay with things like that. But yeah, bare root trees and bushes can go in now. Jerusalem artichokes, you either love them or hate them. Artichokes, fartichokes I believe they call them. That's a really easy thing to grow, and some people really do adore them. They're tubers, so you plant them straight into the ground, and now would be the perfect time. I have grown them, but I don't grow them anymore. Asparagus crowns, which is something I'm thinking of trying this year, you could start those off. It's a really good time of year to source yourself some asparagus crowns and to get planting those as well. And sprouting seeds as well, and microgreens, a really simple thing to do, and I've already started some sprouting seeds off. So I've got a couple of types. I believe I've got fenugreek in there at the moment, and some mung beans, and we're going to put a picture up so you can see what mine are looking at the moment. They only take a few days to sprout. I mean, you can just do them in a jam jar, but they literally sprout out within a few days, so you can be eating them immediately, whether it's in risottos, stews, salads, in your sandwiches. Do you know what I mean? It's a really, really easy starter to give you a little bit of confidence and to give you something, you know, a really quick fix of something you've grown straight away. The other nice thing to grow is some microgreens. You know, again, a nice addition to salads, risottos, sandwiches. You know, there's a selection of, I've got some pak choy and some mustard oriental. I think I've got some chicory in the box there. All sorts of microgreens. Again, a really easy, quick thing to grow. And if they get a bit leggy, it really doesn't matter that much because they're microgreens anyway. So again, something that you can't really get wrong. So obviously things like that, you'd start off indoors. I'd start them off initially in my propagator, and then I'd take them out straight away and then put them on a warm windowsill. And obviously the sprouting seeds I've got in my kitchen at the moment. So other things you can be planting now are peas and broad beans. I've already started mine off. So mine are, I've got some peas just there in the greenhouse. I decided to put them in here just to push them on a little bit more. I've got some broad beans already started up at the allotment, and I've got some more which really need to go out. So if you think I'm an expert at this, these really should have gone out already, but they haven't, so I'm going to get them out quite soon. So I've been lifting them out and getting them used to the outside before I just take them straight up to the allotment. Although they're quite hardy broad beans, because they've been in the shelter of the greenhouse, I still need to harden them off a little bit before I put them out on my allotment. So one thing I would say, if you haven't subscribed, it would do me the most enormous favour to help grow my channel if you could please do it. So if you're new to the channel and you've not already subscribed, not only will you get lots of great videos every single week, it also really helps me keep the channel going. And if you're new, and even if you're not new, if you can give me a like and tell me what you like best at the end of the video, that'd be really fantastic too. I love getting feedback, and if you've got any questions, don't forget to do that too. Some other things you could be starting off now, and if you haven't started them off, I really recommend you get them started off as quickly as possible. Or if you're going to start off any sweet peppers, any aubergines from seed, or any chili peppers. The reason for that is they do take quite a while to grow and to actually produce the fruit that you're expecting to get off of it. Now, I personally, I do sometimes start some off from seed, but I've got to admit I do cheat a little bit, and I buy some plants later in the year because I get grafted plants from Sutton's. So by all means, if you want to start them off from seed, which I have done in the past, you can do that now. But if you want to wait and get some plants, you can do that as well, like I'm going to be doing. Something that I've started off already, I've already started off my leeks. So if you've not done that already, it's a really good idea if you do that, because they take quite a while to grow as well. They're actually in my propagator at the moment and they haven't germinated. The same with my kale. I've got my kale in my propagator, hoping that that's going to germinate really soon. In fact, I've got two lots of kale. One lot has germinated and now that's out in the tray. And one lot is still in the propagator. I've done two types, curly and more of a flat leaf variety. I've also got tomatoes in my propagator, so again, nearly everyone grows tomatoes. So I've got about 3 varieties in my propagator. I've had one lot germinate, so I've taken those out and I've put them in the tray just in my summer house so that they stay warm, because it would be too cold for me to put them out here. And I've got more in the propagator still waiting to germinate. I've also started a few herbs up as well myself, some coriander and some basil. So again, something that would hopefully grow quite quickly and I can start using it quite soon. So what I will say is, if you've got anything in your propagator, if you've never grown anything in a propagator before, as soon as they start to sprout, lift them out and put them on a seed tray, because otherwise they go leggy really quickly. Now at the moment I've got them in the front of my conservatory, just in front of the windows, so they get lots of light. But when I run out of room, I will start to put stuff in and around the windowsill in my conservatory, because that's frost free in there. So whenever you've started anything off, you will definitely need to keep it frost free, and you will need to keep it somewhere bright, otherwise it will get leggy. And just a word of warning, things do generally get a little bit leggy when you start things off this time of year, but you just have to do the best you can, and generally most of it's fine when you pot it up. That's why it's really good to stagger planting your seeds over the next few months, because if you start too much off too early, it's too much to manage and things are more likely to go leggy and not go the way you want them. And so I generally stagger what I'm planting, so it makes it also much easier to manage. Now let's move on to the things that I'm going to be planting this month, and I hope it might inspire you to do the same. So the things I'm going to be planting this month is, I should be starting off some more lettuce, because my lettuce has overwintered beautifully, but it is starting to go to seed now, so I've had to nip a few of the tops off. But as you can see, it's been in here a really long time, and although I can still use it a little bit, it's nearly finished, and also some of the pak choi has also started to bolt as well. So I'm going to be starting some lettuce off in my propagator when the rest of it's germinated and I've got room. I'm going to be starting off some Swiss chard, which is another really good staple which you can use for salads or you can use for stir fries. A really good all-rounder. I've got the rainbow chard there, can't recommend it enough. It's beautifully colourful and it's just so incredibly versatile and easy to grow as well. So the other things I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be planting out my potatoes. I'm going to be starting to plant them out from about mid-March. They're chitting at the moment in my conservatory. Like I've said before, things need to be kept frost-free when you're chitting, so you can get the little sprouts on there. And while it's not essential to chit, it just gives them a little bit of a head start. So there's a lot of controversy. Some people, you know, to chit or not to chit, that's the question. Well, it doesn't matter that much, but it just gives them a little bit of a head start. That's what it does. And actually someone sent me something to try. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to be spraying it on there very soon. I've got a Rutilizer potato mist, which is meant to help the sprouts grow better with beneficial bacteria in it. So I'm going to give that a go just to see whether I get a better yield with it. Apparently it's meant to help get a better yield and I should get a better crop, but we'll see. Seeing as someone was kind enough to send it to me, I might as well give it a go. The other thing I'm going to be putting out is my onion sets. Now you can either start those off in module trays, or depending where you are in the country, if you think it's a bit too cold, or you can direct sow. Personally, I normally direct sow mine in March and April. I haven't actually sourced my onion sets yet, so even though I've got an allotment channel, I still haven't managed to get them. Now we've lost Wilco, it's a case of where do I get them from, but I will be getting those in the next week or so, so I can get them out in my garden. And my really exciting thing that I'm going to be trying for the first time is I'm going to be trying some Cape gooseberries. So I've had some plants off people before, but they've never really come to fruition because I don't think I've started them off early enough. So if you want to give Cape gooseberries a go like me, I would recommend getting some seeds really soon. Now I was lucky to get a Cape gooseberry because I visited my friend's small holding recently, so I literally took the seeds out myself and they've been drying there. So those are what I'm going to be getting in. As soon as I've got a gap in my propagator, I'm going to be popping those in some compost and getting them in there and getting them started. Now I do hope you've enjoyed watching the channel. If you feel that you've got value out of watching my channel, there is something that we have just started to do. You can do something called Buy Me a Coffee, so we'll put a link up on the screen and there will be one in the description. It's not obligatory, you don't have to do it, but if you do feel like I've given you some value today or over the last few years, then you can buy me a coffee and I'd be really grateful. But if not, I'm more than happy just for a like, a subscribe and a comment, and just to know that I'm helping you grow your fruit and vegetables a lot better. And good luck with the growing season.